All right, welcome everybody for just joining us. This is your host, Abhi Kaushik. We have about 45 participants right now, 46 participants, and just about 54 short of 100. We can definitely raise that up today, so make sure you are inviting your teammates, letting everybody know that we have a phenomenal speaker for you here today, and that speaker is none other than Mr. Christion Sadler. Now, I have a lot of respect for this person. You know, before getting started with Renatus, Christion was in quite a bit of financial scarcity. He was working a daily wage job in steel fabrication, and he had just heard about real estate and the wealth opportunities that it provided. But after attending different guru events, he really felt like he was spinning his wheels before he finally found Renatus. Started getting around people he wanted to be like, started helping around, volunteering, being early, staying late. And because of his persistence, Christion has now been in the real estate industry for over 14 years. And he's done multiple real estate transactions that have netted over 6 figures. He's a marketing leader. He's a PIT team member and one of the founding team members of Team Elevate. And I really look up to Christion because he's a producer. Even at the high levels of leadership, he doesn't just, rest on his laurels. He's always looking to add value to those around him. And we're just incredibly fortunate to have an individual like this, a leader in the Salt Lake area. And we're fortunate to have Christion with us here today. So without further delay, I'd like to bring Christion on the line. Good morning, Christion. How are you today?
Oh, I'm great, Abhi. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for asking.
Awesome. Well, thank you for starting off this call. Thanks for making sure that we start off with the right energy, the right music, and the right message. And I'm really grateful for everything that you do, Abhi. And you continue to rise in leadership. I'm noticing that about you. I remember when you first kind of got started with the team, it seemed like you were in the background a lot. Then pretty soon you started stepping out on your own and doing real estate, and that put you in the limelight a little bit. And even though you're still a very humble guy and you're oftentimes not looking to get credit for things, you're still taking on more and more volunteer opportunities. And I see that turning into leadership for you, and you're really stepping into your own with that. And really respect who you are, Abhi. Grateful to work side by side with you, to lead side by side with you, and just grateful for you being here on the call and to be on the call here with you. So welcome everybody. We're going to jump into things, and today I really want to focus some attention on some things that we have coming up in the Salt Lake City marketplace. And even though I'm talking about these trainings and whatnot that are coming up here in Salt Lake City, I think that all of you can take from this and get excited about it. In fact, there is some opportunity to participate even if you're out of state. And so, first of all, we've got Michael Huggins coming in this week. And if you guys could understand the growth, just the pure evolution that Michael Huggins has went through over the last 6 years since he first started in this business. And that guy just consumes personal development, but he doesn't just consume it. He applies it and he puts it into action. And if you can consider the fact that he is, the youngest member of the PAC, the President's Advisory Council, and at the same time, he's leading as far as personal income, and he's the winner of the 5-star Winner Circle contest. That should tell you a lot. A guy like that has a tremendous amount of wisdom, and he's able to grasp concepts quickly and apply them in his personal life. And I'm grateful for Michael and his commitment to the team as a whole, to Renatus as a company, to all of us as team members across the nation, and specifically to the Salt Lake City marketplace. So, Michael was one of the founding members of Team Elevate alongside myself and just a few others. And as we banded together, we set our egos aside and we let numbers do the talking. We let influence do the talking. And that is what created the perpetual growth here in Utah. And we've continued to see growth. We've continued to see success. I mean, if you just look at that the top 10 contest of the people who went to London, you'll notice that Michael Huggins and 5 team members from the Salt Lake City marketplace were in that list. We're in that lineup. And it's because we have a system that works, and it's because we continue to improve that system. And we want to make sure that we include everybody in understanding what we're doing and participating in what we're doing, because we're all one team. We're all Team Renatus. We are all Team Bob Snyder. And Michael Huggins is really a guy that's leading the charge with that. And we just happen to have the opportunity where Michael is going to be flying into Salt Lake City over the next 6 months and helping to push this marketplace to even new heights. So he's going to be working really closely with our leadership team and us with him. And we know that it's going to influence Utah, it's going to influence Denver, and it's going to influence the entire country, because when great minds get together, miracles happen. And so to kick that off, Michael is actually going to be here this Thursday, actually today. Today, it's already the day where Michael is flying in, and he's going to be doing our 5 pillars presentation. So we get to see it from a different angle today. We get to see Michael participate in that capacity and present this information. And obviously what he's doing is working. Now, when I talk about Michael Huggins, I also have to make sure that I talk about Vanessa Huggins, because Michael is not the Michael Huggins that we know without Vanessa right there by his side. They lead together. And Vanessa is kind of the organization of the whole Huggins duo. I guess we could call them a trio now, because every time they're around, they've got Lord Butterbottom with them. That dog, absolutely love that dog, and it's cool to see them just having fun with life and enjoying. And Vanessa is somebody who has also went through a tremendous amount of personal development and evolution over the years. And if you just kind of look at the two of them and the team that they make, it's pretty incredible. So we have, the Hugginses that are doing some great things for us here in Utah. So tonight, Michael Huggins is going to be participating in our Thursday presentation. He's actually going to be running the 5 pillars portion of the event. And for those of you who have never been to Utah or don't really know what we have going on here in the Salt Lake City marketplace, with Team Elevate, we actually have 8 different rooms on a Thursday night. We have over 300 people that come through our doors. And so we have, the 5 pillars, but then we have a lot of additional support. So we have the Spanish 5 pillars. We also have the Spanish Mastermind that happens. And then we have our Essentials study group. We have our AIT study groups. We actually have 2 of those sometimes and 1 on the other times. And it's a pretty great thing. And so in addition to that, we have our onboarding class. And our onboarding is really just helping people understand the benefits that they have access to, the tools and the systems and the Renatus iOS, and just how to plug in overall. And what we've been doing is we've been doing a kind of a marketing training, and we're adjusting that moving forward starting today. And we're actually going to have running EMTs, Elevate Marketing Training. This is an intense training that's going to be going on, and it's going to be run on Thursdays. So while you're showing up with your guests anyways, you can actually be there learning the ins and outs of the business and continuing to push yourself to new heights. So let me share my screen real quick, and I want to talk about the EMT and help you guys understand a little bit more about what that is. So let me share my screen if I can. Where are we at here? All right, sharing my screen. And let's jump over here. So this is where you'll get registered. And I just want to kind of go through this description so everybody gets to see it. And I want you to remember that there is going to be a private Facebook group created for those that are out of state that are not able to come participate live. Now, I would say if you have the ability to come participate live. I mean, I know that I've had people that they traveled into Utah every single week for one of these trainings. I mean, you're only talking about 6 weeks, folks. So 6 weeks to take your business to new levels. It's worth traveling in. If you can be there in person, there's a lot of value that just can't be portrayed over the web. However, if that's not an option for you, then there is going to be the ability to still participate if you are out of state. And so here's the way that it works is you're actually going to come in. It's $250, but $150 of that is refundable, meaning if you show up to all the EMT classes, if you do all of your homework, if you participate till the end and you give it 100%, then that's going to you're going to actually get a refund for the $150. And the reason that there's a cost to it is because you got to have some skin in the game to make sure that you're going to hold yourself at the standard of the rest of the group. So the description here says a lot, and then I'm going to actually show you kind of a week-by-week sneak peek of who's going to be training, because this one is going to be done a little bit different than ever before. See, in the past, usually an EMT is run by one leader. So oftentimes that was Michael Huggins, and he was leading the charge and kind of leading the class. And what we decided to do was pull in some of the top leaders, top income earners, and you can get the unique perspective from each one of these guys. So I'm going to show you what that looks like here in just a minute. But let's talk about and let's go through the description of the event itself. So the description: turn your business into a revenue-producing machine. This training is not for the lighthearted. No excuses will be accepted. If you're interested in ramping up your business and taking it to a level that you never thought was possible, you need this training. With our biggest sales season just around the corner, it's time to get serious about your business. This training will push you to do just that and help you bring the income you've always wanted. So pay attention. The instructions are this. You need to purchase 2 tickets on this page. One is the non-refundable admission. The other is a corresponding deposit ticket. We would like, for an example, or for many people as possible, to participate in this training. If you're totally strapped for cash, contact Michael. You can negotiate a way in, but for the most part, you're just going to pay and get started. Your commitments are to attend every Thursday night training. It's going to go from 6:30 to 10 p.m. You're going to attend a minimum of 3 events per week. You're going to complete all of your homework assignments. There will be no blaming, justifying, or complaining. You've got to play the perfect game. You're going to learn about the perfect game. You've got to play all out. So don't hold back. And this is your future you're dealing with. So this is the page where you're actually going to enroll. In order to get there, I'm going to show you what the link is. But for now, let's pop over here. As we get into this, today, I'm still living in yesterday, I guess. But today, we actually have an orientation. So come today, and you're actually going to meet some of the top income earners. You're going to get to hear all about how this is going to run and what we expect this to do moving forward, because we are going to continue to run this in the Salt Lake City marketplace as a continuous training. So meaning this is your last chance to get into this one, and you're not going to have the opportunity to jump in midway. So by next Thursday, you need to be fully enrolled and there in class, or else you're going to have to wait 6 weeks at a minimum. It'll probably be actually 8 weeks, because there's most likely going to be a gap in between each training. And for that period of time, you're not going to be able to be in this. And that's why I wanted to make sure that I really highlight this for people now, because this is your opportunity to get in. And so today we've turned into an orientation where you can find out in detail and get an idea of what's going to be expected with the homework. Now, one of the things that I'm doing, if you notice, this is actually in my private team group, and I know Nate Lambert is doing this as well, is I'm willing to pay for the plane ticket of my qualifying team members if they're able to get their 2 qualifying combo sales by the end of this training. And so I'm incentivizing my team, and I would definitely encourage you guys to do the same thing. Now, obviously, I'm doing this for my team. I don't expect your leader to do it for you necessarily, but you can take it on for yourself to be able to do that. So, my offer doesn't pertain to everybody, but I would have to guess if you said, hey, listen, I'm not qualified. I'm going to pay to do this training. Would you be willing to make some incentive for me if I get my 2 qualifying team members? There's probably very few IMAs that would not be interested in doing that. So, all right. So then what we've got is next week, you're going to start off with Dane Clark. And Dane Clark is somebody who he's still fairly new in the business. I mean, he's only been around for a few years, but in that time frame, he has risen through the ranks. He actually has right now, I believe, over $2 million in money out as a private money lender. And Dane is, he didn't have that money. He when he first got started, he was just starting out as a roofer, making an average wage. And so he's used creative strategies to access funds and fund other people's deals. But then on top of that, he's also grown a huge organization here in the Salt Lake City marketplace. And with this last contest, he was number 2 in the London sales competition. So he's heading to London, and I believe that's next week. No, it can't be next week. It must be the following week. Anyways, they're going to London. He's number 2 in the sales competition, and you guys are going to get to learn from him. And then coming up on April 25th, you're going to get to learn from John O'Neill. Now, John is a PAC team member. He's a guy that made over $1 million in his first 3 years in the business. He is just an absolute powerhouse when it comes to leading the charge and growing a team. And you guys have the opportunity to learn directly from John O'Neill. Now, the next person you're going to learn from is a guy that I kind of think is cool. I mean, I enjoy spending time with him. In fact, I choose to spend every waking and non-waking moment with him. I'm talking about myself, and I'm excited to have the opportunity to work side by side with you guys, and just to kind of give you a little peek into what I'm going to be training on. We're going to be going through scripts. So we're actually going to be talking about, on my week, we're going to be going through and practicing how to talk to your warm market, how to talk to your cold market. What do you say after you have somebody at a presentation? What does the conversation look like afterwards? How do you move those people forward to enrolling, to getting started with the business? And so that's a lot of what I'm going to be focused on my week. Is we're going to be going through scripts, and you guys are going to be role playing those scripts, not only during the class. Please understand, there's a lot of homework that comes along with this as well. And your homework is going to be to partner up with somebody else who's also in this training. And you guys are going to role play over and over again these scripts. And it's going to help you take your business to the next level. And it's also going to take away the wonder. You're not going to have to consider, what should I say and how should I say it? You're going to be able to have these conversations flow naturally. From the initial invite all the way to the follow-up, we want you guys to know what you're going to say and to say it with conviction. So that's what I'm going to be training on, and I'm sure you're going to get to hear tonight on what some of these other folks are going to be training on. So then we move to the next week, and May 9th, you're going to have Mitch Nelson, and May 4th, you're going to be with Mitch Nelson. And Mitch is actually on May 4th. That's going to be a Saturday. And he's going to be doing a call party with you guys, meaning you're all going to get together. You're going to bring your leads, and you're going to make dials. And you're going to have Mitch there, as well as some other key leaders that are going to guide you in those conversations, that are going to help you improve your game and make that happen. On May 9th, then you're going to have Nate Lambert. And if you guys don't know, Nate is he's an anomaly. I just can't even explain. I was talking to Bob Snyder about him the other day, actually, where Nate comes in, and if you give him a challenge, he will just absolutely meet it. And Bob was talking about the time where, Nate came in and talked to him and said, hey, what do I got to do to step into becoming a pit team member? And at the time, he was probably close to $100,000 for the year. But this is at the leadership retreat. This is in September. And Bob went to him and said, you know what, Nate, if you just go out there and crush it and you hit $200,000 by the end of the year, then I'll grant you that, that spot. And Nate did it. He just went out there and crushed it, and he made it happen. And then he talked about how, on this sales competition, I mean, Nate had been out, he had been out traveling. Most of the competition, he was gone, meaning he wasn't putting in sales, or at least he wasn't putting in his usual amount of sales. And he started asking Bob, what do I got to do to win? And Bob wasn't going to give him that info, but he's like, you're trailing behind. You're in number 11. You're really going to have to kick it into gear. And on the last day of the competition, Nate Lambert put in 4 combo sales in a single day. And then when he knew that he secured that, he went to Bob and he said, Bob, I'm at like $960,000. And how do I get my $1 million pin? I mean, is there any way that you could give it to me? I'm so close, and that I'm going to hit it by next year. And Bob said, sorry, man, I can't give it to you unless you earn it. So what did Nate do? He went ahead and got to work, and in a single day, he put in another 4 combo sales. I mean, think about this for a second. A guy is putting in enough sales to earn the average yearly income in a day. You get to learn from it. I know I spent a little bit extra time there with Nate, and I could go back to each one of these, and I could spend a lot of time on different things that they've done that have just impressed me so much. And I want you guys to be excited for this training. So then you're going to end the training with Michael Huggins, and we've already talked about Michael Huggins. He's a number 1 income earner. He's out there killing it. He is just doing some amazing things, and he's not sacrificing lifestyle to do it. So if you want to have lifestyle and income, he's the guy that you're going to want to learn from. So folks, that is the EMT training. That's what it looks like. Now there is some testimonials. So Nate Lambert, example, said, I did this training 3 years ago, and it absolutely launched my career. I've now made over $1 million through Renata's referrals. And of course, these are not a typical result, right? So again, it's $250 with $150 of that refundable if you do all your homework assignments and attend the sessions. So the link, and there's actually a shorter link than this. I'm not sure why that it's the long one. Hold on, let me pull it up for you guys real quick. And I'm going to tell you what the shorter link is. Just got to get to my text messages. All right, so let me switch over here to a whiteboard. I'm going to write this out for you. Okay. All right, so it is. And actually, I'm going to type it out because I believe it is case sensitive. So it's UTEMT.eventbrite.com. So it's capital U, T, EMT.eventbrite.com. And I've got some chats coming in, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. Come on. I'm going to copy it. Okay, I'll just type it in. Let me get over here to the chats. Looks like we might have some questions. All right. Absolutely. Yes, scripts have been changed. Athena, yes, thank you for your testimonial of the class. There's actually, I pulled up over here, guys. We've got a group where there's just tons and tons of testimonials. So let me switch back to sharing my screen. All right. And then Corey, I'm curious, some of the activities that will run from those of us who aren't in Utah. I'd love to do this. All right. So cool. Corey, if you're not in Utah, what's going to happen is there's going to be a Facebook group created where you're still going to watch live. You're still going to be attending live, but you're going to be doing it from wherever you're at. So wherever you're at, you're going to be able to participate. It's going to be on Thursdays. You're going to be 7 o'clock. Well, 6:30 really is when you want to be prepared to be there, and you want to plan on being available till 10 p.m. This is Mountain Time. So if you're out of state, you're still going to register the same way. Go in there to this training, and it is, again, utemt.eventbrite.com. So use that, copy that, paste it in. You guys can get your tickets now, and the live session will fill up. Just to let you guys know, as far as how many seats we have available, it is limited. So I can't guarantee that it'll fill up, but I can guarantee that if we run out of seats, we're going to have to limit that. So there is a limited amount of seats that are going to be available for the live session, and just want to kind of give you guys that idea. So the last thing I was going to do is pop over here and let's go testimonial. This is in the Facebook group, and as you can see here, there's a whole bunch of EMT testimonials here. So let's choose one. Let's see. Actually, Abby's the guy that's been starting off these calls. He's been kind of leading the charge. Let's check out his testimonial. It's from 2018.
Here, and I'm here to talk to you today about how the EMT that I'm taking with Michael Huggins has absolutely revolutionized my business. And one of the biggest things I think that the EMT helped me out with was changing my overall mindset. And what I mean by that is that once I learned in the class that in order to really be able to persuade people and make sales and explain what we really have to offer in this phenomenal education, we have to be able to first 100% believe in the Renatus core beliefs. And, those are, Renatus is the best income opportunity in the country. Everybody needs Renatus. We're doing them a favor, and it's their loss if they say no. So once I started kind of making these core beliefs second nature, that's when I started seeing drastic improvements in my business. So this is so really I learned this during the EMT class, and how to kind of make this second nature, how to make this unconscious competence. So then another thing is that another thing I learned in the EMT class is this idea that oftentimes that we make up stories inside our head and then we project it onto other people. So we might, when we're with the customer, we might think the customer thinks a certain thought, and we might just come to a conclusion like, oh, this person, doesn't want to buy even when they actually do. So how we can kind of overcome those stories, those randomly created stories that we create in our heads, project on other people. We go over techniques in the EMT class on how to overcome that and be more in touch with reality and what's really going on in our customers' heads. So the next thing I want to talk about is that I learned a lot about how to do time management, and really the biggest thing was understanding that if you don't have a planner and you're not writing down your goals on a daily basis, and you're not scheduling out your day on a daily basis, then you're probably going to be wasting a lot of time. That's what was happening with me before I joined this EMT and learned exactly how to plan your day out, how to set goals, how to set your visions. The next thing was the next benefit, I guess, was the accountability that you get from your peers. So when you're in this EMT course, however long the next one is, ours was about 6 weeks, and but every single week you have that almost it's a good kind of peer pressure where that your peers are following the homework assignments, that they're also putting in as much work as you are, and so it's kind of like it almost turns into a mastermind where you all are kind of working towards a common goal, and that is what motivates you to hit all the all the goals that you're supposed to hit as being a part of the EMT. So that social proof, that social pressure, that accountability, I can't stress enough how important that is. In fact, I probably want to take another EMT just to be able to get that same kind of experience where I have that constant social pressure, which is also motivating. So that's what you got. That's what you get with the EMT. A bunch of people moving towards a common goal. Then, I got a lot better at public speaking after joining the EMT. One of the big reasons was, we're actually, as part of the group, one of the requirements is to, join a Toastmasters group, become better at public speaking. So when it almost became like a requirement, I was able to kind of make myself, go to these different Toastmaster meetings and learn how to get better at impromptu speaking and how to get better at planned speaking as well. So another thing I learned during the EMT is this idea of pay time. So, a lot of times, if you're new to this business, you might be finding some difficulty in figuring out what actually qualifies as money-making activities. And that's really one of the biggest takeaways I got from this EMT, that, what are those things that constitute money-making activities in this business? Because it's not what you might think. It's not about putting out ads and, those kind of things, but it has more to do with your one-on-one interaction with the clients. So next, you'll get good at, or at least for me, I got a lot better at talking to just random people. The 3-foot rule, anyone within the 3-foot vicinity, how to properly talk to them. What is a way? What are good icebreakers? What are intrigue points? How can you get someone who's never heard about the opportunity, the Renatus opportunity? How can you get them curious about the opportunity, and how to kind of bring their guard down? So there definitely was times during this EMT where you're not. This is not a class where you're just going to be learning things. It's not going to just be someone in the front of the room just talking the entire time and you don't do anything. You actually will have to apply what you learn in this class. It's actually a requirement, which is a good thing. So, but anyways, you'll get really good at learning how to tell stories. That was a big kind of takeaway for me, how to properly tell a story for my clients. So that's what I really enjoyed about this class. So yeah, you'll learn different scripts, how to properly talk to people. But overall, this is an incredible opportunity. I'm so grateful to Michael Huggins for setting up this EMT for us. And in the future, regardless of whether Michael's teaching it or somebody else is teaching it, it's a phenomenal opportunity that I think is absolutely necessary if you want to take your business to the next level. So thanks guys so much for listening. And good luck with everything. Thanks.
So Abhi, since then, just over this last year has just absolutely grown and propelled himself, and you guys get to hear him on a morning basis. And so that's great. Now coming over here, I'm going to show you guys, when you click on tickets, here's what you're going to do. You're going to do the $100 non-refundable admission. So you're going to buy one of those tickets. Okay. And then what you're going to do is you're actually going to choose this refundable deposit. And so you're going to choose one of those. Now, again, you're going to get this $150 back as long as you finish the whole training. And so once you do that, you're going to click checkout, and you're going to go ahead, and that's when you're going to start getting info about how and when, and the private Facebook group that you'll get access to, and all of those things. And so I know that on my chat window, where did my chats go? Brian, it is the $250, but you're going to get the $150 back. So it is $250. It's the $100 non-refundable, $150 refundable, and then you get that $150 back as long as you attend all the sessions and do all the homework. Then you'll be good to go. And then again, as you actually get your tickets and we get closer to the time of starting, then you're going to get an invite to the secret Facebook group, and it's going to be your turn. So I just wanted to make sure I highlighted this and gave you guys kind of an idea of what we have coming up. Again, those of you that are in Salt Lake, it's going to be phenomenal that you're going to get this personal time with all of these top income earners on a weekly basis. And those of you who are out of state, you're still going to get that personal time. It's just going to be a little more virtual, and you guys can participate with it as well. So if I was somebody, let's say in a new emerging market, and I wanted to take my business to the next level, I wanted to grow that market, I mean, I would be doing this training and I would be hanging on to every single word, and I'd be building relationships with each one of these instructors, because these instructors are the ones who have grown one of the fastest growing markets in the entire country. And, that's where we're at. So thank you guys for joining me. I am out of time. I look forward to seeing you guys next Thursday. I look forward to seeing those of you who are going to be there this Thursday. And, I'm excited to hear from Michael Huggins. By the way, Super Saturday is this Saturday, and it is going to be powerful. It is a full day training. Both English and Spanish are coming together for this, because Michael Huggins is going to be delivering the goods, and he's going to be making some key announcements about the marketplace that I think everybody's going to be excited about. So do not miss Super Saturday this Saturday. See you guys soon.